Hey skaters, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today we are going to be talking about checking, the term checking. Now, a lot of you have asked me questions about this, so I thought that this really kind of deserved its own video. So let's talk about checking out of a jump or a spin first. You're going to hear checking referred to from your coach or instructor, checking out of a jump, checking out of a spin, and you're going to hear it quite a lot in learning footwork, learning moves in the field, checking through a turn. If you watched my 3-turn tutorial, I talked about checking a lot. But we're going to start with what it means to check out of a jump or a spin. So when a skater takes off, they can get about 1.5 to 2 feet off the ice. They reach rotation speeds of up to 6 rotations per second. That is really fast. And when they land, the impact of their landing is 6 to 8 times their body weight. So for instance, a skater who's say 130 pounds can hit the ice with as much as 1,000 pounds of pressure. That's about a half a ton of pressure. And so you're having to stop and dissipate all that pressure and stop the rotation of the speed of the spin, and that is where a check, having a really strong check, comes in. You need to dissipate that weight, you need to stop the speed, and do it all with control and grace. Now, spins are very similar. You don't have the impact of the jump, but you have that same rotation speed to deal with. In fact, there is a skater who has been clocked at over 300 rotations per minute. That's about the same G's or similar G forces that astronauts and fighter pilots get when they are in flight. That's pretty intense rotation. A skater's arms can experience 4 G's in a spin. So when you're done with a spin, you have to stop all of that rotation and control it with grace. And that again is where a check, a strong check position comes in. You need to start working at these no matter what your level, even if you're just doing bunny hops, so that your strength in the check improves as your skills increase. Now before we go on, I want to say a special thanks to Paola Borromeo, Kaylee Bertolucci, and her coach Shannon Sakata for taking part in this video today. I really appreciate that. Okay, to get started with the check, let's go over to the wall. So we're going to start with the wall. We're just going to use it as a little bit of balance. Since the first exercise we're doing, we're going to start without any motion. Now I am right-handed and I like to spin counterclockwise, but if you are left-handed, you're just going to want to reverse these directions so that they will apply to your rotation side. Okay, so I'm just going to put my right hand on the wall for a little bit of balance. And I am going to find a position on my right outside edge. Jumps and spins land on your outside edge, so we're going to mimic that in this exercise. Now my knee is bent. It is so important to get a good soft knee bend from a jump and from a spin, but especially from a jump. If you think about how many pounds of pressure your leg is taking, you do not want to land with that knee straight, or you're going to send shock waves through your leg that over time are going to do some damage. So we land on the toe pick, go gently down to a soft, cushiony knee on our outside edge. Okay, so find that nice outside edge position. You're going to feel all those quads engaged on the outside. Okay, you got to have good quads here. Now my free leg is going to extend out to a diagonal behind me, not straight behind. If you put your foot behind you, you're literally going to keep spinning. You need that foot to shoot out in a diagonal, and that will help you stop that spin. Okay, so my knee is straight, my foot is sideways, like parallel with the ice. Okay, we don't want it pointed down, so that leg is parallel with the ice. And this is our lower body position. Outside edge, nice soft knee, straight leg on the left, foot parallel to the ice, extended out to the corner. So I'll show you that from this side. Okay, so that is our lower body check position. Now your upper body, you're going to want to take your hands at a V, okay, we're a V shape, and you're just going to press them down towards the ice. Not all the way down, you're going to give yourself some resistance, press down towards the ice. Now some coaches will have you do it in an L position. If your coach is having you do that, follow their advice. They do this for a reason. Maybe you're struggling with your check and they want you to do it in an L. That's fine. Eventually, you'll probably do it in a V. So if this works for you, then go ahead with that V. We're going to engage the muscles in our torso, engage all the muscles across the back, especially our shoulder blades. Those shoulder blades really need to contract, pull back, and help us push down. Again, so we're in a V position, and our shoulder blades are going to push down and back to help our back engage and contract, and that'll help give us a lot of control with our upper body. If your back is soft, your upper body is going to whip around as you finish the spin, and of course we don't want that. So here is our check position from the side. Here is our check position from the front. So I want you to spend some time. You can do this in your tennis shoes at home. You can do it at the ice rink. You can do it in your rollerblades. Work on this position. Once you have this position down, our first exercise is literally just to practice pushing back onto an outside edge. Okay, I want you to just find that position, strong upper body, pressing those hands down, and push onto an outside edge. You want to be able to control this with no wiggles whatsoever, okay? That is your first check exercise. Once you have practiced that check position on the wall, we're ready to move on to exercise number 2. Now this one I'm going to do on one of the great big hockey circles. This is pretty challenging, so I expect you're going to be working on it for a while. Basically what we're doing is we're going around this circle in a backspin position. That backspin position is what you're doing in the air on any spin where you're going a full rotation or more. So let's go over that position first. My weight is in a nice straight line on my right side. I don't want my weight split between my legs. It needs to be strong over on my right side. So think about creating an axis through your head, through your shoulder, through your hip, all the way through that skating foot on the outside edge. So my right foot is slightly on my outside edge. My left leg is going to cross over. Now when I'm moving, it'll be off the ice, okay? So I'm just leaving the toe there for balance. So my left leg is crossed over with my left hip ever so slightly raised. Okay, I don't want to drop that left hip. I want it slightly lifted up. All right, so I'm at a slight angle here. My right hand is going to come into my right shoulder. My left shoulder is going to come forward. That pushes my shoulders in towards the circle. My left hand crosses. Okay, so this is our backspin position and our in-air spin position. So what I'm going to do for this exercise is give myself a couple of pumps for some speed. I'm going to find that backspin position and try to hold it all the way around this hockey circle without moving a muscle. Okay, here we go. I think I needed a couple more pumps, but I'm almost there. So generally what happens as a person is learning this is their shoulder and hip open up and they lose that axis over on the right side, all right? This is very common. You're gonna most likely start in this position and then your hip and shoulder are gonna open up and you're gonna spin out of control. So really think about lifting that hip, engaging the front of your left shoulder and your shoulder blade on the right side to keep your core strong and really twist through your midsection and lift up so you get all those muscles engaged. So we go get a little bit of speed, find that outside edge, cross your leg, cross your hand, you can look over your shoulder and you want to just hold this position, engage all those muscles in the middle. Engage the front of that shoulder and the back of this shoulder blade. That is your exercise number 2. So we have our check position on the wall and our backspin position and air position on a circle. Once you have that down, we'll move on to exercise number 3. So you have your first two exercises, that check position off the wall and your rotation position on the circle. Once you have both those down, we can combine them into our third and final checking exercise for the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that rotation position. You're going to hold it and count to 3. Then you're going to jump and find your check position. So once again, we get ourselves a little bit of speed. Find that rotation position, count 1, 2, 3. You're going to jump. Find your check position, 1, 2, 3. Once you can do both of those with no wiggles anywhere, you know you're ready to apply this to more difficult spins and jumps. So let me show you it in the proximity of a simple jump like a waltz jump. So we're going to start with our crossovers around the circle. We're going to push back. We jump. There's my check position. You can see my back engaged, my arms at a V, my landing leg is in a nice bend, and my extended leg is out at a corner behind me. Now let me show you to you in conjunction with a spin. So we have our 1 foot spin. When we're ready to be done, we're going to put our right knee down, and there is our check position. So you can see it's really the same position with both your jumps and your spins, so those exercises I gave you today will apply to both. Now it's a little bit different when you're doing moves in the field and footwork, and this is going to be a little difficult for me to really show you because each turn has its own unique check, but I'll try to give you just a couple of examples. So for instance, a 3-turn or a bracket, they're very similar turns, and both of those are going to turn, check and turn at the same time, basically. So a 3-turn, you are starting with your upper body really strong, facing the circle, and as you turn, you're going to check and engage into that strong upper body position again. If you haven't learned 3 turns, you can check my video out. I'll put a link up above, and that will go into more detail with how a check happens on a 3-turn. For a bracket, it's very similar. We find our check position, we turn, and we check again. So that's how it would work in a 3-turn or a bracket. And you're just going to have to learn those footwork and edge and moves in the field checks as you go. Skaters, I hope you enjoyed that one. Maybe it gave you some new insight on what it means to check and how important it is to really practice and perfect that skill no matter what level you are. Of course, if you enjoyed this, please do give us that thumbs up, and I always look forward to reading all your comments in the section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button down in the corner so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.